All right, so you ready to dive into the world of Dennis Rader?
The BTK Killer.
The BTK Killer.
Yeah.
We're going to be taking all our info from his Wikipedia page
Yeah.
and this really creepy article on biography.com.
Really piecing together the guy's life.
Yeah, like his life, the crimes, and how they eventually caught him.
Yeah.
And get ready for some twists and turns, because this story starts normal
Totally normal.
and then gets really, really scary.
Like, so scary.
Yeah.
It's wild how this guy was like a family man,
Yeah.
church council president, a Boy Scout leader,
Like, yeah.
and was behind these horrible, just awful acts.
It makes you wonder about everybody. Like, who can you really trust, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
So Rader was born in Pittsburgh, Kansas,
Okay.
back in 1945.
Mm-hmm.
Childhood seemed pretty normal, but those dark fantasies,
Oh, yeah, they were there.
they were brewing under the surface, even as a kid.
It's just crazy how someone can lead such a double life. Like, for real.
Yeah.
Makes you question everything.
You can really see his need for control, like, throughout his whole life. Even in his job, you know.
Oh, as a compliance officer.
He's a compliance officer, yep. Like, he was super strict, like, over-the-top strict.
Almost like he was getting ready for something much worse, you know what I mean?
Makes you wonder, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about the crimes themselves, the pattern.
Okay.
His whole MO was to bind, torture, and kill.
Hence BTK, right?
Exactly, the BTK thing. The level of planning is just, it's terrifying. He wasn't just like in a rage. This was all thought out,
Oh, totally.
pulled and calculated. And
Oh.
the details, man.
Yeah, the details are creepy.
He even took souvenirs from his victims, you know?
Like what kind of souvenirs?
Like personal items, driver's licenses,
Okay.
things like that. It's like he wanted to keep a piece of them,
Possess them somehow?
that control,
Yeah.
even after they were gone. And it wasn't just women he went after either.
Right, I remember that. It wasn't just women.
The Otero family murders back in 74.
Oh, God, that one was horrific.
That was a prime example.
Yeah, he killed Joseph and Julie Otero and 2 of their kids. Can you imagine the other kids finding them?
I don't even want to think about that.
No.
That's actually when the whole BTK name came out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he left a letter in a library book all about the murders. Wanted credit, you know.
So he was always looking for attention from the start.
Oh yeah, wanted to be feared, acknowledged, the whole thing. And it just got worse over time. He didn't stop at just killing. He started taunting everyone.
Yeah, like he'd call the police himself.
Called the police to report his own crimes. Even sent a poem about one of the murders to the local newspaper.
Ugh, he was messed up.
Like a game of cat and mouse, you know? And remember when the police tried using subliminal messaging?
I vaguely remember that.
They thought they could trick him into confessing.
Oh, wow.
But nope, Rader was way too smart for that.
It's like he was always a step ahead.
Uh-huh.
Always.
Then, out of nowhere, after 13 years, between 91 and 2004, BTK goes quiet.
Can you imagine living in Wichita back then? Like, always waiting for him to come back?
Oh, yeah. But then 2004 rolls around and he's back. Seems like a few things set him off again.
It's like he needed that attention, you know?
Yeah.
Like we talked about before.
Yeah, exactly. And the timing is interesting, right? Like, the 30th anniversary of the Otero murders was coming up.
Oh, wow.
And there was a book about the BTK case in the works. He couldn't just fade away.
It's like a messed up kind of ego, you know?
Oh, totally.
Like he wanted to be remembered, feared.
And that need to be in the spotlight. Well, that's what got him caught in the end. It wasn't like amazing police work or anything. It was just...
Was it that floppy disk thing?
Yeah, the floppy disk.
I remember hearing about that.
He contacts the police, right?
Yeah.
Asking if they could trace a floppy disk.
Seriously?
Yeah, he wanted to know if he could communicate safely.
So he was asking how to not get caught.
Pretty much. Sounds crazy, but... And then, get this, he actually sends a disk to the police. And on the disk, hidden metadata.
No way.
Linked right back to his church.
You're kidding?
And his name.
Oh, come on. So he put his name on it.
It's like he wanted to get caught. I don't know. But there's one more thing that really nailed him. DNA technology.
Right, that wasn't around back when he first started killing, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the police get this DNA sample from a pap smear
From who?
from his daughter.
No way.
And they compare it to the crime scenes, and bam, it's a match.
So his family's medical records helped catch him.
It's crazy how that stuff works, right?
Huh?
Forensics, it's always evolving. Even the smartest criminals slip up. So after all those years, terrorizing Wichita,
He was finally caught.
what happened after the arrest?
Yeah, like, did he confess? Was he sorry for what he did?
He confessed, all right, laid it all out, every detail,
Oh, God.
but no remorse, none at all almost like he was proud of it.
It's just chilling, you know, to think someone could be so disconnected from all the pain they caused. What about his family? How did they handle all of this?
His wife, she got an emergency divorce, like, right after the arrest.
Understandable. And his kids. Imagine finding out your dad, the guy you looked up to,
Yeah.
was a serial killer.
I can't even imagine.
His daughter, I read somewhere, she talked about how hard it is to, like, make sense of it all.
It's a tragedy for everyone involved.
Oh, for sure. But even with Rader locked up, it doesn't feel like the story's over. There are still these unanswered questions.
Yeah, like what?
They're looking into whether he was connected to other cases, especially in Oklahoma and Missouri. Unsolved cases.
Yeah.
And then there are the hidey holes.
What were those?
Places where Rader stashed stuff like supplies and tools, you know, stuff he could use for his crimes.
Oh, wow.
And they found drawings, too.
Drawings? Like what kind of drawing?
Women tied up, gagged,
Yeah.
just like his victims.
Well, maybe he was going to kill again if they hadn't caught him.
Scary to think about, right?
Yeah.
There's one more thing.
Oh, no.
Rader actually compared himself to the Gilgo Beach killer.
Rex Hoyerman.
Rex. Yeah.
It's like they're comparing Nose from prison. Like, how'd you stay hidden for so long? This whole case is just messed up.
Like, it shows that need to be recognized, you know?
Yeah.
Like, he had to be seen as the ultimate criminal mastermind.
So where does this leave us? I mean, we've gone through Rader's whole life, the crimes, how he got caught. What are we supposed to take away from all of this?
That's the question, isn't it? After you finish a deep dive like this, it sticks with you. It shows you that evil doesn't always look like what you think.
It's not always obvious who the bad guy is.
Right.
Like that monster under the bed when you're a kid. Sometimes it's right in front of you.
He was the perfect picture of normal.
Totally.
Boy Scout leader, church council president, husband, father. But under all that, pure darkness.
It makes you realize that you can't always trust your gut, you know,
Right.
about who's good and who's bad.
Exactly. It makes you wonder, how well can you ever really know someone?
Right.
Can you ever be totally sure that someone, anyone, isn't hiding something?
Some dark secret.
Yeah. Or even, like with Rader.
Capable of doing awful things.
Yeah. It's deep stuff.
It really is. And there aren't any easy answers, are there?
Not really.
But maybe that's what this whole deep dive is about, you know?
Mm.
It's not about finding the answers. It's about seeing how complicated people are.
Yeah, how good and evil can be right there together.
And the same person.
I think it reminds us to pay attention, to look closer.
To not take things for granted.
Don't just assume someone's good because they seem like it.
Yeah, because the monster isn't always hiding in the shadows.
Sometimes the monster is right there with you.
Smiling right at you.
Smiling right at you.
Wow. Okay. So much to think about.
I know, right?
This deep dive into Dennis Rader has been something else. Fascinating, but also really disturbing.
It sticks with you.
It really does. Makes you realize that the world can be a pretty dark place.
It can. So, as we finish up here, one last thing to think about.
Okay.
If a regular guy like Rader could lead this double life for decades, planning these terrible things but seeming totally normal.
What does that mean for the rest of us?
Yeah. What does it say about us?
It's definitely a chilling thought. And I think it's one that'll stay with me for a long time. Thanks for joining me for this deep dive, and I hope you'll check back for our next episode.